he wanted to shoot in Capri, and I was like, that sounds amazing, but it's very expensive, and let's just, shoot in Connecticut. That's where the first one took place.
Blake Lively, now 37, has finally broken her silence regarding the events that took place while she was on the set of a movie she was featured in. This shocking revelation, however, has brought a series of trolling and backlash from fans. What were her complaints about, and why did it generate such outcomes? Could this have anything to do with the accusation she leveled against her co-actor Justin Baldoni? Keep watching to find out. Who is Blake Lively?
Well, we'll show. I gave you a cardboard cutout of me to take with you for the last 2 weeks. Can we show a clip of that?
Blake Lively, initially known as Blake Outlander Brown, was born on the 25th of August in 1987. Her birthplace was in the Tarzan neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Her mother, Elaine Lively, worked as a talent scout, and her father, Ernie Lively, was an actor. Lively was named after her grandmother's brother. She has an older brother, Eric, and 3 half-siblings from her mother's previous marriage, Lori, Robin, and Jason. Her parents and siblings have all worked in the entertainment industry. In the early stages of Lively's life, her parents took her along to the acting classes they taught, rather than leave her with babysitters. She later pointed out that watching her parents teach helped her gain knowledge about the depths of the industry, and it also helped boost her confidence as she got older and began working in the industry herself. She made her first professional debut at age 10, appearing in the 1998 film Sandman, which was directed by her father. Lively describes her role as a bit part. She was initially not interested in acting and wanted to attend Stanford University. She graduated from the prestigious Burbank High School in 2005. Prior to her graduation, she held numerous positions. It wasn't so difficult recognizing the talents she was embedded with, considering the kind of background she came from. Consequently, her elder brother asked his talent agent to send her to several auditions during the summer months. Subsequently, she was cast as Bridget in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants in 2005, and she filmed her scenes between her junior and senior years of high school. It is said that her personality is known for trivializing serious issues. On several occasions, she answered questions with answers that were totally unrelated to the topic. She did this to make these issues look less severe in a bid to sound funny and cool. This ended up mostly leaving a feeling of disappointment in the hearts of the interviewers and the listeners. Most recently, she was interviewed for her role in the movie, It Ends With Us. She was asked if this movie is going to affect people and if they are going to want to tell you about their lives. This question was in regards to the crucial role she played in the movie, It Ends With Us. Her role was sensitive and addressed what a lot of women go through. Instead of addressing the question directly, she chose to make a joke out of it, leaving many fans disappointed. It is expected that such movies that address vital issues that face people on a daily basis should have a helpline attached at the end. This is so people can call in and share their personal experiences. All she needed to do was address the question and leave behind the helpline. Over time, she has developed a habit of avoiding sensitive subjects and questions. Having looked at Blake Lively's personality, is it reasonable to believe everything she says? Or can we simply consider it to be one of her jokes? To find out if Blake Lively's claim is valid, stay tuned. Moving on, let's take a look at what the movie was all about. The movie, It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us is a 2024 American romantic drama film directed by Justin Baldoni from a screenplay by Christy Hall, based on the 2016 novels by Colleen Hoover. The movie starred Blake Lively alongside Baldoni, Brandon Selena, Jenny Slate, and Hassan Mina. The story follows florist Lily Bloom, played by Lively, whose troubled relationship with neurosurgeon Ryle Kincaid, portrayed as Baldoni, is compounded with the sudden reappearance of her ex-boyfriend Atlas Kerrigan Sklenar, who re-enters her life. The storyline focuses on domestic violence and emotional abuse, and how it can impact individuals and relationships. The title, It Ends With Us, signifies the protagonist, Lily Bloom, breaking the cycle of domestic violence that her mother experienced in the past. The character of Ryle, Lily's partner, is portrayed as someone who engages in abusive behaviors, including emotional manipulation and gaslighting. Nevertheless, the book and movie have faced criticism for trying to make domestic violence seem more trivial, and for portraying the abuser in a sympathetic light. The story explores the psychological trauma that Lily experiences as a result of the abuse she endures. Before everything turned upside down, Justin Baldoni was collaborating with Blake Lively for the creation of a movie adaptation of the best-selling novel. Fans were excited and eagerly anticipated its release. The book's enormous popularity virtually guaranteed a passionate audience, and with two big names attached, many expected smooth sailing. However, there were tiny whispers that hinted at creative disagreements in the early stages. Blake Lively was never meant to be a part of the directors for the movie. When asked in an interview, she admitted that she derived greater fulfillment from directing a movie than from acting in it. She also stated that not every director or movie studio she has worked with has given her this privilege. Some simply emphasized that she focused on what she was being paid for. Yet again, a few of them were tolerating enough to give her the opportunity to infuse her ideas into the script. One of these few directors was Justin Baldoni. Even with these rare privileges, some problems still occurred. Small cracks in the foundation might have gone unnoticed if tensions hadn't escalated. The point where everything changed. The differences in the mode of execution of tasks between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni in pre-production marked the turning point for the movie. Information provided by an insider indicated that Lively seemed unusually hands-on, pushing for more control than a typical actor should. Initially, this attribute was greatly admired by Baldoni. He reportedly admired her ambition and zeal. He was of the opinion that working with someone so detail-oriented would elevate the film. But just beneath that cooperative surface, a storm was brewing. Different rumors began circulating, and questions arose as regards who was really in charge. Some said Lively brought her husband, Ryan Reynolds, into key decisions early on, which made other producers uneasy. However, none of these seemed critical enough to raise concerns regarding the matter. There was too much hanging on the success of this film, so everyone tried to keep the peace. But that's what is actually funny about the whole thing. These hidden sparks of tension, if they're not carefully managed, it will grow. And before anyone knows what's happening, it most often turns into a full-blown battle. By the time the cast and crew were ready for principal photography, some watchers claimed you could feel an undercurrent of uncertainty on set. And that was only the beginning. Once all eyes turned to the actual filming process, stories of conflict would erupt in a way no one could have predicted. The production became immersed in controversy due to disputes between Lively and Baldoni. During the series of promotional tours, he had complained about her constant diversion of focus from the movie to herself. Blake Lively was greatly criticized for not addressing the crucial points in the movie. She neglected the film's themes, which mainly focused on domestic violence and emotional abuse. Blake Lively, instead of remaining focused on the goal, diverted the attention to her personal projects. This earned her another round of serious criticism from fans who were following the movie. This was because many people were interested in knowing how well she was connected to the role she played. They wondered if she could truly relate to the pains victims of domestic violence experience. Instead, she prioritized promoting her hair care brand and her other businesses. There were speculations, however, that the reason why she might not have prioritized the promotion of the movie was that she didn't get paid for promotions, but only to act in the film. In her words, she said, "We're always like, yeah, our movie is so good," and you would be like, "Well, you are paid to do that." She then said that they don't actually pay you to promote the movie. They only pay you to be in it. This statement shocked many people, and it was strange coming from her, particularly considering the fact that she was also a co-producer of the movie. Lively also did not in any way link her Instagram bio to anything regarding the movie. Her bio was centered on her business. Even to be more inconsiderate, she went ahead to launch her hair brand, which she called Blake Brown, around the same time the movie It Ends With Us premiered. Her lack of concern and her actions totally passed wrong information, both about herself and the entire cast. One would wonder if her actions were an act to sabotage the whole process. But if this was the case, why was she doing so? In all these, Justin Baldoni was keen on trying to promote the movie through any medium he found. He even had his profile linked to the campaign regarding getting help for those in the situations addressed in the film. Lively's attitude must have changed his initial narrative of her and might have added to the lingering issue they had on the ground. Hollywood love interests. It has been noticed over time that in Hollywood, male celebrities often go after female love interests who are most often way younger than them. Similarly, Ryan Reynolds went after Blake Lively regardless of the almost 8 years gap between their ages. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's love story began on the set of Green Lantern in 2010. Their love began to grow. This led to a relationship in 2011 and resulted in a union between the two in 2012, with the couple now having 4 children. In 2011, after their meeting, they both ended their previous relationships as Lively was dating Penn Badgley, and Reynolds was married to Scarlett Johansson. They claimed the chemistry between them was just simply enormous. They had both gone on a double date with other people, which Reynolds later joked was the most awkward date because sparks were flying between them. Ryan Reynolds was married to Scarlett Johansson from 2008 to 2011. He was engaged at some point to singer Alanis Morissette from 2004 to 2007. He even proposed to her, and after the proposal, they were together for another 3 years before their breakup. He met Blake Lively around 2010, and they fell deeply in love. They got married in 2012. In 2012, they exchanged marital vows in the city of South Carolina. They chose to wed each other at a plantation known for its history of slavery. The reasons behind their choosing this location were only known to them, but fans didn't find it appealing or pleasant. It brought with it a lot of backlash from their fans, and they had to apologize to the general public, most especially the Black community. They welcomed their first child, a daughter named James. Subsequently, they welcomed 2 other daughters and a son. The names of the other 2 children are Inez, Betty, and finally Olin, their only son. The couple often appears in public as perfect, and they have continued to support each other's careers. They often make public appearances together and enjoy family life. The couple has often been seen making fun of each other in public, with videos going viral. This video contained evidence of their exchanges. With the attitude that the actress has displayed so far, her background has since been visited, and she has been referred to as a privileged Nepo baby. Blake Lively's father, Ernie, was an actor, and fans believe she has never really experienced any hardship, so it's hard for her to focus on complex subject matters. Blake Lively initially stated that she never wanted to be an actress, but she was born into a situation where she just had to become one. Sometimes back, a number of actresses had an issue with a convicted offender and former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein, who was accused of multiple charges of forceful relations. However, Blake came out publicly to say she had never had such experiences with him, therefore indirectly implying that the allegations were false. She also said it was devastating to her people to tell those stories. Blake Lively's thoughts were assumed to be mainly founded from a position of privilege and power, where she doesn't see beyond herself or her situation. Lively's first breakthrough came in the 2005 films. Her fame skyrocketed when she played a role in the movie The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which bolstered her stardom. Also, she was featured in the TV series Gossip Girl from 2007 to 2012. She has since starred in films, including The Town and The Shallows. Baldoni starred in the TV comedy Jane the Virgin, directed the 2019 film 5 Feet Apart, and wrote Man Enough, a book pushing back against traditional notions of masculinity. Her response to concerns that "it ends with us" romanticized domestic violence, telling the AP at the time that critics were absolutely entitled to that opinion. She has never been one to be bothered by what people say about her. Regardless of the fact that it might be said that Blake is bold and addresses her trolls head-on, it would be more interesting to see her channel the energy into more productive ventures rather than various lawsuits. Lively breaks silence with a lawsuit against Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios. On December 24th, Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios. She accused them of harassment and intimidation. In response to the allegations, Baldoni not only denied that anything of that sort ever happened, but he also sued the New York Times for libel over their siding with Lively's account of events without making proper investigations. He later sued Lively, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan for civil extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. Baldoni's life couldn't have been easy at the time, considering that he was experiencing different confrontations at the same time the movie was launching. Prior to the lawsuit, Blake Lively had on one occasion accused Justin Baldoni of body-shaming her. She had given birth to her 4th child before the shooting of the movie, which left her with some extra pounds of flesh. On the other hand, in response to this allegation, Justin Baldoni stated clearly that he had a history of back conditions. In one of the romantic scenes of the movie, he is expected to lift Blake into the air. In order not to ignite the pains he usually had, he went ahead to ask her managers how many pounds Blake weighed, and he also inquired from his trainer if there would be a problem if he lifted her. This was, however, misunderstood by Blake Lively for body shaming. Fans weren't happy with Blake Lively for basing her allegations on assumptions. It ended up resulting in serious backlashes for Blake. Following the back and forth between Blake and Justin Baldoni, Justin hired a PR crises manager, Melissa Nathan, who worked for Johnny Depp on the Amber Heard trial, to step in and try to manage the situation in order to preserve the image of the film. A federal lawsuit was filed in response to Lively's suit. This was done barely a few hours after she filed the suit. The suit filed by Baldoni and other defendants in Lively's suit sued the New York Times for libel for its story on her allegations. He stated that the newspaper and the Star were the ones conducting a coordinated campaign to demonize him and dent his reputation. The lawsuits are significant developments in a story emerging from the surprise hit film that has already made major waves in Hollywood and led to discussions of the maltreatment of female actors, both on sets and in media. Lively's suit said that Baldoni, the film's production company, Wayfarer Studios, and others engaged in a carefully crafted, coordinated, and resourced retaliatory scheme to silence her and others from speaking out. She accuses Baldoni and the studio of embarking on diverse plans to damage her reputation following a meeting in which she and her husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, addressed repeated maltreatment and other disturbing behavior by Baldoni and a producer, Jamie Heath, who is also named in both lawsuits. The plan, the suit said, included a proposal to plant theories on online message boards, engineer a social media campaign, and place news stories critical of Lively. The alleged mistreatment on set is said to have included comments from Baldoni on the bodies of Lively and other women on the set. The suit states that Baldoni and Heath discussed their personal desires, experiences, and previous addictions to illicit contents and tried to pressure Miss Lively to reveal details about her intimate life. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Lively's lawsuit, but he previously called the same allegations completely false, outrageous, and intentionally targeted at causing a wrong perception about Baldoni. Lively's lawsuit comes the same day as the libel lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court by Baldoni and others against the Times, seeking at least $250 million. The Times was immovable and stuck by its reporting, saying it plans to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. The libel lawsuit says the newspaper relied almost entirely on Lively's unverified and self-serving narrative, lifting it nearly verbatim while disregarding an abundance of evidence that contradicted her claims and exposed her true motives. But the Times did not care. A spokesperson for The Times, Danielle Rhodes, said in a statement that our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. To date, Wayfarer Studios, Mr. Baldoni, the other subjects of the article, and their representatives have not pointed to a single error, the statement said, but Baldoni's lawsuit says that if the Times truly reviewed the thousands of private communications it claimed to have obtained, its reporters would have seen clear evidence that it was Lively, not plaintiffs, who engaged in a calculated smear campaign. Lively is not a defendant in the libel lawsuit. Her lawyer said in a statement that nothing in this lawsuit changes anything about the claims advanced in Miss Lively's California Civil Rights Department complaint, nor her federal complaint filed earlier that day. The issues between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are still ongoing, and from all indications, Blake has stirred them up. She has sometimes been compared to Jennifer Lopez, as there are some very close similarities. They have both often trivialized serious issues. They always try to make jokes to sound funny. Do you think Blake Lively actions have spoken well of her so far? And do they portray a good image of someone who should be a role model and mentor to the young generation? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.